Musicians Viewpoint. This podcast is by and for local musicians in all localities. I'm your host, Kevin Ronco. Hey, welcome to Musicians Viewpoints. My name's Kevin Ronco, and I'm your host. Today we have a great guest, actually a couple of guests. One is my uncle, Dennis Barker, who has this great band, YouTube band called Flooded Cellar. They're awesome. Check them out on YouTube. Just Google them. Flooded Cellar. They've got all these great songs, fun songs, Christmas songs, love songs. A lot of songs that make you laugh, make you smile, make you cry. Everything else. Wonderful group. And so it'll be my uncle Dennis Barker and Jeff Tripp, the drummer of Flooded Cellar, who does animations for them as well in their videos. So check those videos out. They're pretty cool. So before I turn on the recording that we did earlier today, I'll let you hear that one. It's a wonderful interview. I'll just let you know I'll be playing on the 30th of this month, March 30th, at the Willamette Valley Smokehouse with Sweet Sam. So it'll be fun. We're doing some alternative country, blues, rock, stuff like that. Good mix. So if you live in the Salem area of Oregon, might want to check that out. And other stuff's in the work. Gusto Brothers playing at the Salem Market this year again. Let you know on those dates when we have them. Anyway, I'll let you have it. Here is Flooded Cellar, the interview with my uncle Dennis Barker and Jeff Tripp. Really good interview, really fun. At the end of the podcast, we'll share a song of theirs, Takes Nerves of Steel to Drive in Maine. Great tune, too. Okay, enjoy.
Oh.
Okay, we are recording.
Sweet. All right.
Recording in progress. Hello, ladies and germs. Anyway, we have Flooded Cellar here. My name's Kevin Ronco. My uncle Dennis Barker and his YouTube band, Flooded Cellar. And I'm pretty excited about this. Been a while since we've done a podcast. Not due to lack of interest, but due to life. But anyway, we're back. And I'm excited. Flooded Cellar. And got some questions here for these guys. Before I get into the questions, though, is anything you wanted to say? Just want to tell the world anything?
Well, today is last time that we talked, Jeff was here, the guitarist.
Right.
Today it's me and Jeff. Jeff is the drummer.
Hello, Jeff. Cool. Hello, brother.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Brother drummers.
Yes.
Yeah, nice meeting you, too. I like the videos you do. Those are...
Thank you. Thank you.
The animations are great.
Oh, yeah. That's something I just kind of fell into. So it's a nice to have another outlet.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, my uncle there, Dennis Barker, great songwriter. So
I agree.
great teamwork there. Anyway, I'll jump into the questions. I know I sent these to you. Hopefully you had some time to think about these. But by the way, I love you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of fans, but the ones we have really seem to like what we do. So
yeah. It's nice to know that there's people out there that are listening.
Yeah, exactly. And for every one of those that admits they're a fan, there are probably 10 others. So
we hope. That would
Yeah.
make it at least 30, 40 people that like us.
I know that feeling very well. Being, this podcast is all about local musicians, and I know we can reach out to the world, but it's all about locality, really, right?
Yeah.
So
we're in a hotbed of the music scene here in Lovell.
Yeah, and nor would we ever expect to, go national in some way, even on a platform like YouTube.
No.
So,
Well, you kind of are, kind of international, really, but yeah. I know. I follow the ratings on this podcast, and I see there are people in India and stuff, but it's not that many. It's like someone somewhere found this, and they happen to not be in the United States. So
yeah, that's something pretty cool about the technology available to us today, is that you can reach somebody that far away. Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever you are in India, this podcast is for you.
I do a non-politically correct accent, but I don't know how to do an Indian accent.
Oh, yeah.
Well, luckily for us.
All right. Yeah. Well, we don't want to get the woke too woke this morning. So
No.
Anyway, I'll jump into the questions. So who is the band leader, or do you have a band leader?
Do we have a band leader?
I mean, I would say non-officially that Dennis would be, just more so that in a way that things just kind of seem to revolve around him. I mean, we do all of our rehearsals here, our studios here. Dennis really was the one that made the decision to pick up the equipment, and when we first kind of gelled as a band. So I would say in some way that kind of carries through. So to say that there's a leader, I don't know. It's not like there's anybody saying, you have to do this now, or, do this way. But
no, there's not really too many egos. Like when we go into the studio, for instance, and we lay down something, it's how we do it. Sometimes we know it ahead of time. Sometimes we learn it there. And then when, let's say Jeff gets done drumming, is that all right with you? No. Is it all right with you? You're the one that graded that.
Right. So, and that can go on for a little while. Is that right with you? Well, what do you think? Well, so, yeah, it's really more just the process of, off the cuff most of the time.
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort. You sometimes have a feeling that a song's going to feel a certain way when you go to record it. And I remember early on when we had, I don't know, 20, 30 songs we were trying to record all at one time for our first album. I had some songs that I'd written and set up, and I laid them down on a guitar and did a vocal. Jeff would come in and do the drums, and I'd say to Brian, who was with us at the time, I didn't know that was a rock song. This is awesome. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I find that in music, there's really no room for ego. I think that was explained to me by somebody at one point. So yeah, you mentioned ego, and yeah, you got to not have that when you're. I mean, everyone has an ego, right? But you got to keep that in check if you're in the music game. So yeah,
right. You don't want that to get in the way of yourself or anyone else. When you try to
just
operate with others,
destroys things. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeff has his own style of playing, and when Jeff does an animated video, he just gets his ideas and he does them, and we say, "Holy mackerel, that was really, really cool." We don't really give any input. He asked, but what do we know? I can't even draw a stick figure.
Oh, come on, you can draw.
I suggest that to him sometimes. Can you just do a stick figure video?
That sounds way too hard. No, I can't do
that.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, one of my alter egos is a cartoonist, but I'm not sure how good I am. I can make people laugh occasionally with that.
Nice.
Fast ones. The faster you draw them, the better they come out.
There you go.
That's what I find. Anyway, do you ever combine playing a song and then going into a jam from that song, and then maybe go back into another song, or how does that work for you?
Well, uh, well, maybe Jeff wants to answer this.
Well, I think it's kind of one of the same for us. A lot of the songs that we write, at least the musical part, I think, comes from jamming.
Mm.
You know, if we get together usually once a week at this point, and really just the focus is to try to play something either different or something that's been, you know, on Turf's mind or something Dennis had it, you know, and then typically a song will just grow out of whatever you know, spontaneous thing happens then.
Hmm.
So it's really part of the creative process, I think, is jamming, and then
Yep.
and then the song comes after.
One day I don't know, this was 10 years ago, maybe. I was sitting at my table inside here. It's a different room where they jam, and they were out there jamming to this thing. And I'd been writing a song for a couple weeks about my family, my brother, when he got killed in Vietnam.
Mm.
And I didn't have a chorus or anything, but I was reading the lyrics as they were playing. I was in here and thinking, "Holy mac, hey, that fits." Don't. So I ran out in the other room with what I had for notes, and they don't stop playing, don't stop playing. I got on the mic and I started singing it. I didn't have the chorus yet, but they were doing this thing, and it just felt like Psychobilly Bonfire.
Hmm.
And I said, "Holy mackerel, we just wrote a song." So, but they were jamming. I said, "Don't forget how you did that, boys."
Which of course we would, you know.
Yeah.
So eventually we learned to record.
We record
whatever we did during rehearsal, because you know, none of us are going to remember what we did in that moment. So.
never.
Exactly.
And so we record on video all of our jams now, and it's not for anyone to see except for us. And half the time, I'd say 99% of the things you toss to the side. But every now and then we stumble on something. Wait a minute, can we go back and try that again?
Yeah, it's nice having that archive of material to go back to and try to draw from.
Cool. Yeah, I can totally relate with that. Having tons of recordings that now maybe they're 20, 30 years old, a lot of them, but yeah, that's the way I've kind of always done it myself, so I can relate. So what inspired each of you to get started in music?
Well, I guess for me, at least as a drummer, my sophomore year, I think it was, in high school, a friend of mine, I mentioned to him one day that I had a free period. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't really, you know, want to study hall. I wanted to fill it out. And he's like, "Well, you know what? You're going to come play drums." I was like, "Okay." So I went in, and he was actually a phenomenal drummer at Freiburg Academy. He went to Berkeley with them multiple times.
Oh, wow.
But so what ended up happening with me is they immediately strapped a bass drum to me for the marching band.
Oh, bass drum.
Because they didn't have anybody to tote that around.
Very important instrument, by the way.
It is, yeah. And I actually learned to enjoy playing music from there. You know, I was always interested in music itself, but I wasn't really a musician per se. So it kind of grew out of that. And then I met Dennis when he was doing play productions, and you know, he invited me to come and play drums for those, and then it just kind of, you know, grew from that. You know, and then we started doing stuff on the side here, songs that I had written. I was like, "Hey, you know, I don't know anybody else with a guitar, but I got this I've got these lyrics that I'd really like to try to put to something. You mind?" You know, and then it just kind of, you know, for me, that's where that started. So that's another reason why I say it kind of unofficial leader, but that really just things seem to revolve around what Dennis, you know, was already doing to bring to bring me in anyway. And I think with Brian as well, he would probably say the same. But
Yeah, both of you guys were in high school when you
yeah,
were doing musicals with me and that kind of thing.
yeah.
So we've known each other a wicked long time.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. And for myself, I said before when I started playing, but I was thinking the other day, the first time I really loved music, found something I really loved, I was small enough, I was probably 3 or 4 years old, I'm going to guess, living in Oxford, Maine, and my mother was giving me a bath in the kitchen sink. So that tells you how little I used to be. And I remember singing Great Balls of Fire, and she cuffed me side to head. You want to sing that? I love that song. You know, I didn't know who did it. Jerry Lee Lewis did it, but
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. And then later on, I was doing the twist around that same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about Tutti Frutti?
All of it. Blueberry Hill.
Oh, that's
very,
one.
very, very young when I started loving the music. And always thinking I'd like to perform music. Like I don't really want to now, but thought it'd be a great thing.
But you do.
I do, but not the way that
on your terms.
Yeah, on my terms now.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. That's always the best way.
Mm.
I mean, you're a YouTube band, right? So that's performance, right?
We are now. We tried to. Well, that's another question that came up, but we used to put out albums, but nobody buys CDs anymore. They just go
with a physical album, unless you have some way to distribute that with a physical album, your reach is so limited. I mean, like I said, we haven't gone that far on YouTube either, but at least, you know, it's out there instantly and anyone can access it, you know. With a physical album, I mean, I loved having them, you know, looking at the, you know, the covers and the artwork and actually having it in your hand. But it's just, you know, getting that in somebody's hand was a lot harder. You know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I could tell you stories about that, but yeah, I'll.
Luckily, we had Turf while we were still doing that, who worked at the transfer station, so he was handing them out to everybody that he saw.
We were trying to sell them, but he would just give them.
Yeah, you know, here you go.
Yeah.
And he loved to give them away. So
yeah.
What happened to the 100 that we made? Yeah, I give them out. Okay.
Now everyone in town has one, so they're not going to buy yours.
Well, they may not be listening to it, but at least they have one in their vehicle.
Propping up fixated.
But yeah, now everyone's using their phones, and that's tied in with their smart cars, and so the CD's kind of gone away.
I haven't gotten to that point where I download music on my phone and listen to it in my car. I'm old fashioned. I listen to the radio, but I don't listen to much music anymore. A lot of it I don't like.
Oh, I love Spotify for that reason.
Yeah,
you know, I can just connect in my car and have anything I want right there. You know, that is pretty handy.
That's cool. Yeah. I think, was it last Saturday we had Pearl Jam Day. We just listened to Pearl Jam all day in the car driving around. So
that is a good day.
Yeah, it don't
even matter where you're going.
Then we put on other stuff and we're like, yeah, it's kind of boring. I mean, yeah. Now that gets me to the next question. Who are your favorite players, musicians who can really play?
Well, actually, when I read this question, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, who are your favorite players? I mean, I know I play the drums, but really, oddly enough, I'm a strange drummer. I'm not like a drummer fanboy. I don't have like a lot of drummers that I look up to, but music in itself, I mean, Eddie Vedder would be one of my favorite performers, along with Chris Cornell and Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as drummers go, I mean, John Bonham, when I first started getting into playing, you know, had my first kit and played my headphones, that was definitely John Bonham, probably. And not so much then, but now I started to appreciate some of what Ringo Starr actually did.
Yeah.
You know, now that I see a lot, almost like the analysis of how he played, I always was just told that he was just a simple drummer and didn't really get that fancy. But now that I listen to more of it here, it dissected by other people who kind of know what they're talking about, it seems like he was a lot more. He is a lot more in depth than I ever thought. So
Yeah.
so that's
yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of going through the same thing with Ringo.
I mean, it's strange that I'm just discovering that now.
Yeah.
I have to have someone point it out. Hey,
Yeah.
listen to this guy.
Yeah.
The thing is, everything he did was perfect for the music. Nothing was out of
I mean, it
place.
appeared to me like he's really more playing to the melody and a lot of that.
Yep.
Which is strange for a drummer, but well, maybe not, but it's definitely not basic, I would say.
Right. I mean, when you really think of it, like Keith Moon was doing the same thing, but just more elaborate,
Right.
But
a lot more energy.
yeah, whatever he was on, for horse medications.
Sure, it was medicinal. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree. And Charlie Watts too of the Rolling Stones is, kind of in that same vein. Like you think how simple, but don't underestimate simplicity.
Right.
Because
I think it's painted black by them that the drums mesmerize me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one I'm trying to think. I may have the wrong song. There's one of them that every time I hear, holy Mackinac.
Yeah.
I have a couple myself, but they're not drummers. Al Stewart, I don't know if he did Year of the Cat.
Oh, yeah.
An album called Time Passages. And on Time Passages, there's a song called The End of the Day. And I played it for a friend of mine one time about 20 years ago. I said, hey, listen to this. So, it's two guitars. So for a long time, I thought that. And I saw him do it live one time. His name's Peter White. Peter White. Yeah, that's his name.
Okay. And
it's him. He's playing. It's a very, very complex acoustic guitar piece that he's doing. Al Stewart always did. His songs varied a lot from medieval sounding to pop to whatever. And it was a lot of it was because of his guitarist, I think. And then, of course, the other ones I liked was, Fogerty. You can't ever not say Fogerty. I actually have Ringo written down because I've been doing the same thing Jeff has. Wow, listen to this, Jeff.
Yeah.
But I also like banjo players. Banjo players are awesome. I don't know how they play like that.
Talent.
Oh, man. I don't like banjo, but
I don't like the way it sounds, but I like to watch them.
I like to watch them play.
Ding, 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 don't.
Yeah. I'm going to listen to my story about a man named Jed. All right.
Cool. Yeah, no, you listed some great stuff there. Love all those players. So you're doing great as a YouTube band. Are there other formats though, or platforms you might consider expanding onto beyond YouTube to get, build your audience, get more.
Maybe
more
we
people.
knew what we were doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how. Really, at this point, what is it? I mean, you just select one or the other, I suppose. I mean, we're on YouTube. We do have some. I think we have one album on Spotify.
We do.
Psychobilly Bonfires on there.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it would really take some effort to discover where to go from there.
Yeah, we'd have to try.
Okay.
Well, so I'll throw a plug in for you guys. Hey, Flooded Cellar, they're on facebook.com/floodedcellar.net. Also youtube.com @floodedcellarband. Check them out.
That's right. Thank you.
I don't know if we're on net anymore, but you can go check it out.
The page might still be there.
It might still be there.
Nobody's maintaining.
We haven't looked at it in years.
But definitely on YouTube. Yeah,
we're definitely on YouTube.
Flooded Cellar Band.
Facebook.
Cool. We'll plug you again before this is over.
Cool.
So, would you consider putting out another album sometime?
Well, you know what we have? We bought equipment because we get sick of paying to have our albums made. Mm-hmm. So we bought ourselves a 10 at a time?
Yeah, 10 discs.
Yeah, 10 discs at a time. We can print them out and we we went to that route, and then realized nobody wants them anyway. So with that been sitting, collecting dust every.
So I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by an album. So
yeah,
if it's a collection of stuff that we've already done, or if we were to write something that was intended to be played, 10 or 20 songs at a time, to kind of tell a story. I mean, I don't know. It'd really have to wait and see where we go creatively. If we're,
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question,
right?
If that, we have written albums before, and I've written musicals, which is a story from end to end.
Right.
So that's a true story.
Which is kind of how we tried to piece together the albums that we made.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you couldn't, if it's you have all those songs in succession, it's kind of hard not to tell a story with it and try to line them up into something you can appreciate. But yeah, I don't know if we would end up writing a quote unquote album. But
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems like it, but I mean, we the amount that we've been putting out is no less than probably maybe a song every couple of months. Pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and we've got 2 or 3 that we haven't recorded or really finished writing, but they're in the works. So there would be a beginning of an album if you chose to go that. When we get back in the studio, I think we're going to be busy in a minute. So
I guess the question is, it's just the way that it's released, and whether it's one song at a time for the purpose of a video, or if it's, if you hold back that material and just release it all collectively in another way.
It's not that we don't have time, it's that we're lazy.
Yeah. It's also, it's kind of a interesting question because the times have changed. I mean, even like Peter Gabriel he releases an album, but he's doing it one song at a time by the phases of the moon, and I was going to do an album too, just of my side hustle. Not the main side hustle, but the hustle beyond the hustle. But I find that because time is so limited, it's just by the time you get done with one thing, it's like, I'm going to put that out there because I can't think about 10 songs right now. So, I think that I was put that question in there thinking that the times had changed. So I was wondering how you'd answer that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fair. Yeah. So what do you think of bands who wear uniforms as part of their, stage performance?
No, I don't know. That's an interesting question because I hadn't really, I guess I've never really directly questioned that, but I did think it was a little odd when I was younger, seeing how I have never been to any Kiss performances, but to see them, I always imagined what it would look like hearing them sing like the song Beth, this sweet, soft song coming from this, guy dressed goth and face paint, platform shoes, and it just seemed like a strange thing to me. But I mean, I'm also not really a physical performer like that, so I guess that's why I don't really understand it.
I like Primus in Big Brown Beaver. I like their outfits,
Oh, okay. That's a great song, by the way.
But I don't know if they wear that on stage. But in the old days, the Beach Boys or the Beatles, they all look the same, and they look professional. But times have changed. I think it's good if you want to do that, I guess. But we can't afford to all buy the same clothes, so
It can end up when you look back through the pictures, it's like some kind of odd fashion show rather than
Well, it definitely tells you the time period that they were performing in.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Beatles went from wearing suits and ties to looking like hippies, with long hair and beards and hippie clothes. So I guess they get over it.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Paul McCartney was insisting that Foreigner be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm like, huh,
Really,
that's an interesting stance he's taking there.
wouldn't be my get, wouldn't be my choice, but
Me either. I was surprised actually, but I don't know why that I brought that up with that question anyway. But um, yeah, it's like Paul Revere and the Raiders. I mean, what do you? It's kind of just odd, but I guess it's gimmicky. But
I was just listening to them the other day and listened to Cherokee Nation.
oh,
I
okay.
played it for my grandson. I said, I don't know if this is uh, politically correct or woke,
Well,
but I want you
Yeah,
to hear the song. I like it.
yeah, that's one of those songs that stuck out in my head too as a kid. Hearing
yeah, I
my
remember
parents
that one.
oldies.
Yeah,
At the
Yep.
time.
But yeah, they would dress up like they were.
I
Um,
guess the Boston Tea Party,
Paul
right?
Revere.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now talk about getting one ride right, Paul Revere. Uh, what the one
Hey,
thing you'll be remembered for is you decided, oh, I'm going to warn everyone that the British are coming. And
Right.
I think they're already here, but
they are. Yeah, they've been here a long time. Okay, so this next question is kind of the point of this podcast, really. So I'm really looking forward to your answers. How can we improve the local music scene? What do you think about that?
Oh boy. Locally, as in local to everyone.
Yeah, because your local scene, I think it has the same answers as the one here, but I don't know what they are. So that's why.
Well, I'm not sure either. I mean, I think a big part of it is just, I didn't, I played out a little bit, but not a ton. And what I found is something touching on what we kind of started out with was egos.
Mm,
Is you know, if you have a situation or a venue or a place where people can come in and perform whatever they're doing and whatever they want to do, and like an open mic or that type of thing, I think it helps having people who are willing to support um, local artists and each other, and not so much think of it as this is my show.
yeah,
And
there seems to
I've
be a lot
definitely
of
been guilty of that.
open mic around here, different places, and I guess that's good. But I think those guys, if they're playing their own music, it's probably rare.
Yeah.
But
right, yeah,
you
it's
know,
mostly covers, and yeah,
we have a quote unquote independent music station within 25 minutes or so from my house,
Wow.
and they don't play local music really. They have a local music contest, but it's for bands. It's sponsored by a beer company, and they want these
right,
bands to go out and perform. Well, that's not us. So
right,
Oh, I
right.
I
see.
don't know. I sent them something and shit. I don't even know if they played it. I missed the thing. And
I think being truly, open to any type of, you know, somebody's creativity or their willingness to share what they're doing. If there's true, they're being original with what they're doing. I think it's key to have a place to share that where it's no politics and no, I don't know. I sound cynical, but
yeah, we are a little cynical about the logo.
Yeah.
I used to think, well, if I write something that's good enough, because I used to send my stuff to major labels and over and over. Jeff was here one day when I threw away everything I did.
yeah,
But anyway,
Oh, okay. I've done that too.
I always think that if I write something good enough, someone will find it. But either one of two things happen: either I never wrote anything good enough, or they, you just can't connect. It's so hard. Is it? Every town has 3 bands in it.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
I think that's part of why we kind of, started doing more YouTube based stuff as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to share what you're doing with everybody without being a part of the noise that's around you. You know, and I mean, we got some pretty great local bands here,
We
but I
do.
mean, it's just,
Yep. I've seen some.
I'm not sure how you go through what, you know, at the moment, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of space for them to provide that, you know.
Yeah.
You're playing the same. Well, it's not a big city around here either.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of
They're playing the same
obstacles.
places over and over and over, and same fans. So,
Yeah.
you know, unless they want to go to Portland or start going to Portsmouth or even further, then
Right. Right. So, I mean, I think the local music scene, wherever you are, is going to be great no matter what, because there's so many talented people everywhere.
That's,
You know,
yeah.
it's just, it's allowing them to get that out there.
so our idea, I think, is we just promote our own stuff and hope for the best. Sometimes they catch on a little bit. You know, we get 20,000 views on something, or
That's great.
sometimes you put out something and you get 150 views. Say, thought that maybe someone might like that, but I guess not.
150.
Well, you never know what's going to catch on, you know.
If I get 30 views on something, I'm happy. So, but I'm
Yeah,
you know,
well, every time somebody is actually able to, you know, access that, and hopefully enjoy what they're seeing, then that's a win, right?
Yep. One little victory.
Yep.
So that brings me to the next question. Why do we play music anyway?
Good question. You know, one of the things it's odd that I've been trying to write this song for, I guess, 2 months now. Started with a jam we did, and I called it Mainers, Mainers. And I asked Jeff, hey, what's peculiar to Mainers? He said they drink coffee, they chug a lot of coffee at 8 o'clock at night, then go off to bed. Yeah, that's the thing Maine people do. Yeah.
Yep.
So I started writing this song, and I'm going to say, over a period of time, I've written about 4 or 5 pages of verses for this thing, and changed the music 3 different times. And one day I was listening to something that we'd done and say, wait a minute, that's the music for it. Went back, and then I trying to find a chorus for it, and stumbled on a chorus I thought I liked. Went back and rewrote all the verses again. So it's coming into it now, but it's nothing. I'm going to have to change the title a little bit, I think. But turns into all the mills have gone in Maine. That's not where it started from. It was supposed to be a funny song, but turned out to be everything we grew up thinking about mills. That's where you can go and get a job for the rest of your life. Nah, not Maine. Yeah, they're gone. You know, in your town where you grew up, there were 4 or 5 big factories, and not one of them are there anymore. So, and the same way with the music. The music's changed. We're not Taylor Swift. We're not selling albums, and we're definitely not playing in front of 96,000 people. You know, that would be amazing. 96,000 views would be amazing for us.
Yeah,
we're not really worried about the money.
No,
because there isn't any.
I don't think that's gonna.
We're never going to get enough subscribers on YouTube.
It's not really
it's a stack deck. Unless you are Taylor Swift, you know, and you're drawing that kind of an audience, then you're not making any.
But she's got the talent, and she's of course got the right producers and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah,
and she's been willing to make that sacrifice. That was her life.
Yeah, that's a trade-off too, right?
Right. She never had to go put shingles on a roof in January, or paint a house. Or,
good for her.
True.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
But as to why we write music, I think, like Dennis said, he's trying to convey that, I don't know, that idea and that feeling of, this is the way it used to be and this is the way it is now. It's just trying to communicate something that you have in your head, something that you feel. I occasionally I feel the need to, actually write something down to get out a song, but usually for me it's because there's something inside me that's nagging at me that I really gotta just kind of I don't know, just get it out and get it down on paper. And that's probably why I don't write that often, luckily, is because, I need that push to kind of, get started. But
Jeff writes some really deep songs. I've always enjoyed collaborating. I don't really collaborate because I have to find the chords to the song.
Yeah, it's more like, hey, I got these words right here, and this is how that goes. So good luck.
So you're saying apparently that's E, but no, we're gonna start in A minor. Okay, it's an A minor. All right. So do I get credit for that?
Absolutely.
No, that's cool. It's a good place to put that energy for sure. I kind of think I was thinking, why did I start playing drums? Well, actually, my mom suggested it, and I think it's because I was high energy, so I actually needed someplace to put that energy. So
I got to tell you that when you were, I don't know how old you were. Might have been 7 or 8 or 9. I don't remember how old you were, but my wife and I, we were over visiting your folks, and they said, "Oh, we bought Kevin these drums." Whoa, nice drum set. I said, "How much that set you back?" Right? That's how you're asking me. How much that set you back? It was a lot. I said,
$600.
Yep. $600.
Yep.
They said that was our tax return. I said, you took all your tax return money and spent it on a drum set for a kid. Turned out it was the right move. And I never forgot that, thinking, you find something your kid's interested in, then do everything you can to help, promote
that's
the creativity.
I'd never heard that story. That's a credit to your parents right there. The fact that
absolutely.
They're willing to give you the chance to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My mother did the same thing. She bought my kit for me, right after I started playing drums, and then endured years of me slamming away upstairs on the second floor. If it was me, it would have drove me crazy. My son had a drum kit, and it's a lot of noise.
And when I learned to play guitar, my stepfather bought me an electric guitar and an amp, and he would bring over these old timers. They're older than I am now, 70s, these guys he knew. And they'd play these old songs, and I'd say, I know a lot more chords than they do, and I wasn't really paying. Oh, what a dummy. Because what a wasted. I just thought I was better than them. Now I'm dumb.
Yeah, that's how you think when you're young. Yes.
But so he was, and then he actually built me a guitar. So he was really,
right.
And because of him, I took lessons, and I played at 15 years old. I would fill in for this rhythm guitarist in a band up in Rumford, so we could go off and do something. I don't know what. But yeah, so he was really helpful about pushing me as well. So you need somebody.
I think I remember seeing that guitar actually. So
yeah, it still hangs up in my studio.
Yeah, okay.
It's got a big crack down the middle of it now, but it was made out of bird's eye maple, so it didn't have very good sound. It was heavy, but that wasn't the point. He built that for me, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. So, the next question. What song subjects have you not explored? What's next?
Have you got one, Jeff?
I wasn't really sure how to answer that question. I mean, Dennis does a lot of obviously the great, lyrical writing. So I was surprised actually after, there's kind of a shift in the band from what we were doing earlier on to what we do now. So I was kind of surprised to see the direction that we kind of went closer to the more like Maine humor style writing. So, I mean, to say what comes after that, or what's next, I'm not sure. But, obviously if we're willing to keep evolving in what we're doing, then, I'm sure it'll be something.
I don't know what I haven't touched on over the period of the 55 years I've been writing songs that I don't. I've written about everything from having a broken heart to relationships to Maine human Christmas songs and hot rods and stuff I know nothing about. I just don't know if there's another one out there though, and I stumble across it, I'll be writing it if I can,
cool.
because I enjoy doing that.
Nice. I know for me, I sometimes I'll just think of a good title, so I'll just write the title down and then just let it. I'll have a blank page with a title on the top, and then I'll see if I'm able to fill it in later. But a lot of times I can't. But
I used to go to Eastport, Maine, or somewhere and write for 4 or 5 days in a row, and it'd be in the fall of the year and be writing a Christmas album, or before that, a musical. But I would leave here though with 12, 14 or more titles, and then some of them I'd have some ideas, a verse, or some nothing at all. Some with just a chord written on it, like E or A, or and do this, So I'd go away with some idea. So when I got there, I was ready to literally hit the floor running, because I had to write 8 or 10 songs in a 4 or 5 day span. So I really, so the ideas had to be there before I left.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of, we haven't done it for a little while, but the Christmas albums was another little branch off from, what Dennis was doing, and then maybe kind of the band would revolve into that too. So it was kind of interesting to watch, to know, like you said, he's going to go away for a couple of days, and when he comes back, then you're going to find out, what this whole album is, and then just start from there, start generating some cover art, and you're going to have some song, 4 or 5 songs within a couple of days that, to lay drums on, and maybe do some harmonies and some background stuff, and so just kind of seeing that explosion of creative writing was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if they were as amazed as I was, but yeah, I come back, we start recording practically the next day.
Yeah, just a flurry of
Yeah, we got to get this done in 3 weeks. So, right. Wow, really? Okay.
Call up this person and that person, see if you can get collaborations.
Yeah. Do you think your daughter would come over and sing harmony on this?
Right. Yeah. John Sardi, you want to come over and do some harmony?
Yeah, John, do you want to come do some? Yeah, and he would, and it was very appreciative of the people that were willing to jump in and be part of the thing.
Yeah,
more talented than we are, every one of them.
Well,
so.
Okay, well, I don't know, but it was cool to see the collaboration. You'd almost have like a cameo appearance by someone, and that I think is an extension of what Dennis was doing with plays, which really comes back to the local scene, not so much going out and performing and this venue or that, but just creative people getting together and doing something together.
Yeah. And yeah, there's something to be said. It's building that community, I think that's so key. And it doesn't always work, by the way. I mean, it's a chemistry experiment, so the fact that you guys have been doing this so long is a testament to what you have.
We've been lucky. I mean, when we started the band, it was me, Brian, and Jeff, Brian Garvin, and he'd bring in songs, and I'd actually have to write the music to him, for the most part, unless he had an idea for it. But yeah, it was easy to write with either Jeff or Brian because they wrote songs. I've had people say, "Can you put this to music?" Well, they're a poem. And I'd say, I wouldn't tell them this, but that's a poem and not a song. Song is, Brian listened to the Cake and
Counting Crows,
and so he had a good idea of what a song is.
Right.
It's not necessarily a story from end to end. That's the way I kind of write.
Yeah.
But it's not a poem. It's a big difference. In case you're out there want to write a song, don't write a poem.
you really have to what is the word I'm looking for? Jump cut people in. You have to parachute people in when you're writing a song, right? Just
Songs have hooks, and they
bam,
have,
you know.
yeah. It's a friend of mine pointed out one time. Said it don't matter what you write for a song, someone's going to latch on to a line from that song, and that's going to mean something to them. May have nothing to do with what you had in mind. Oh yeah, okay, thank you. Bear that in mind.
Yeah.
So when you go to write a chorus, that may be the only thing they really get out of that song.
True. Initially, yeah. I mean, a lot flies over people's heads, you know.
Yeah, I talk to a lot of people. They don't really listen to words to the song. How do you not do that? That's what I do.
Right. It's got a good beat.
Yeah, and it has it sounds cool, and I like the hooks. And
well, and even when it's made blatantly obvious that it's still a Nirvana,
Yeah.
like literally the lyrics, he's the one who so pretty songs.
Yeah, I love Havana too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Another great drummer, by the way, David Grohl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the best of our time.
Oh yeah, and his drummer. I said to somebody one day, I said, "I'd like to be the drummer in his band." Turns out he was one of the best drummers in the world.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that being in that position. Yeah. It comes back to ego, I guess, but yeah.
But
Everyone's got one, but yeah. You'd have to keep it in check if you're working with Dave Grohl for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's like that comes back to there's no room in music for egos, but then you need a healthy one in order to be able to, get up there and do it. So
yeah, you do. You have to have self. I don't know what the word would be. Self-assured that what you're bringing to the table is worthy.
Yeah, a huge amount of confidence.
Confidence. That's the word.
Yeah.
Confidence. Thank you. My cognitive abilities seem to be diminishing.
That statement alone would say that it's not. I can't even say that.
But there's confidence, and then there's also the connecting with your audience, and so if you're overly confident, you can all of a sudden find yourself not connecting.
Yeah, it can be off-putting.
Think you're
for sure.
an a-hole, So it's tricky. You can't get ahead of your skis up there.
Well, since I don't ski, I won't be able to do that. Besides, we're not even. No, you got more snow out there, I think, than we got this year.
It's snowing right now. Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, as we're talking, it's snowing like a whatever you want to call snow coming down. So it's like that.
Our snow is rapidly. We haven't got much all winter.
It's going away quick. I was hoping actually to go snowshoeing tomorrow, but I don't know.
Put them on your back.
It's supposed to be a soggy mess.
If you get through something, you need to put them on.
This is pointless. What am I doing?
What a waste of time.
Just go for a walk.
Yeah.
It's weird here in the valley because it doesn't snow typically, but it has this year more than usual. So we had ice.
Yeah, we don't like ice either, but we get it's El Nino, and it's been way warmer than normal, and it's been rain, and lately it's been a drought, kind of. Yeah, just if you and I hate winter, but we need snow, and we didn't get it. We didn't get it.
In Maine, you'd think you always get snow, but yeah, times have changed, I guess.
You would think that would be the case, but
yeah, well, I mean, we got some, but there's always
I mean, it looks like snow.
You kind of need it for the melt of the spring if it's things are going to balance out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cycle of nature up here, I think, is changing. The climate's really, you can see it.
Something's changed.
Yeah. Craziness. Never. Yeah. I mean, in our lifetime, wow, things have really shifted. But anyway, this is Musicians Viewpoints, so off topic.
Do you have a weather podcast as well?
Yeah. I was going to go into what I saw in the weather last night when I was watching it, but yeah. No, yeah, we need more snow here, more snowpack, but yeah. the thing though, the weather gets in the way of when you're trying to be a local musician. That, if we could tie that into.
Yep, that brings it back around.
Yeah, bad weather, we ain't coming.
That was art.
Yeah.
But it's cloudy. Yeah, we didn't like the look of it.
Well, you guys are a YouTube band, so you don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, no. Well, we do thundering out, so no, shut down the recording equipment.
Right, yeah, I'll plug everything before I
Let's go get a drink.
pull those up.
Wait.
Well, this is cool. So I feel like we're kind of winding down at this point. So I just want to remind people, Flooded Cellar, available there on Facebook, facebook.com/floodedcellar.net, youtube.com at Flooded Cellar Band.
And Spotify.
And Spotify, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember Dennis playing Christmas songs at Christmas, ones he'd written, and they're just beautiful. When I was a kid, I just have memories of how talented my uncle is. So, and I think you both are very talented.
Thank you.
And I appreciate this time that we've had together. It's special to me.
Yeah, glad we got it ironed out.
Yeah, I appreciate having me on.
So we'll get this out there shortly. As like I said, this is my side hustle, so it might not be for a few days till I get around to posting it.
I'll look forward to seeing it.
Yeah. You'll get a couple views at least.
There you go.
Hopefully your mom will check it out.
I'll pass.
Oh, my mom, my sister. A shout out to my sister Karen. I know she's a fan.
I'll force my grandson to listen to it.
Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be for the record. For all of history, we'll put it out there. This stuff doesn't go away, so.
Right.
And anyway, Jeff, it was really great meeting you. We've not talked before, so I think it was great. And also, if you guys want to send me a song, we'll put it on at the end.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So
we'll do that in a few minutes. We'll figure out
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
And anyway, this has been Musicians Viewpoints with Flooded Cellar, Dennis, and Jeff. Awesome people, awesome band, awesome fun.
Thank you.
Yep. Talk to you soon. We'll do it again if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do it again sometime soon.
Okay.
Very good.
Yep. Happy trails.
Man, what a day at work. And now this. Man, it looks bad. Looks real bad. Why didn't I listen to that weather girl? I should have listened.
It takes nerves of steel to drive up in Maine. You've got to have guts, you need ice in your veins. If you're plowing through snow or if you're sliding on ice, it's a two-fisted ball clenching right in your life. It takes nerves of steel to drive around here. When the road turns to slush, it's impossible to steer. It takes nerves of steel to circumnavigate when it's less like a ride and it's more like a skate. Your ride home from work has become an ordeal. Slush on the roads and you can't turn your wheels. Headlights come at you on your side of the road. You get sucked to the ditch over the snowbank. It takes nerves of steel to head for the woods when you know the result ain't gonna be very good. It takes nerves of steel to cling to the wheel when you realize it's over for you're on a rolling mill. Nobody stops, nobody cares. Your airbag's gone off and you ain't going nowhere. This ride home from work ain't gonna end very well. It's more like an all-expense vacation into hell. Takes nerves of steel to drive around here. It's a thrilling sensation and it makes steel and a will to survive. Just to hop in your car and to go for a ride.
You know what? I don't think I'm gonna make it home. This is bad. Real bad. Hey! Hey, buddy! You're in my lane!
Nerves of steel to drive in a state where a successful return is a cause to celebrate. Take nerves of steel and a will to survive. To hop in your car